Hello and welcome to Die Rollin. I'm the ever excitable Adam and I'm here today to talk to you about not a board game, not a role-playing game, but a game book. What is a game book, I hear you cry from the other side of the interweb? Well, I'm fairly certain you'll probably know what a game book is at this point. But a game book is basically a choose-your-own adventure. It's a story where you get to make decisions to change the outcome of the story. So, for instance, if you were reading a horror book and there was a noise upstairs and the character runs upstairs to see what that is, in a choose-your-own adventure, a game book, you'd basically have the choice to go, well, do you want to go upstairs or do you want to go to the kitchen to grab a knife, or maybe you want to call a friend? And the ending is different depending on which route you go down. Obviously, if you went upstairs, you'd probably get murdered. And if you went to get a knife, the knife would probably not be there and you'd get murdered. And if you went to pick up the phone, you'd probably get murdered. But anyway, this is very different from those other game books because this is a kind of all-encompassing narrative. It feels more like a story than it is a kind of thinly veiled role-playing game in book format. So anyway, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play this, and we're going to see my thoughts. Now, I don't actually have a physical copy of this, so I can't really show you me reading a book, but what I can do is show you some of the really cool artwork from the PDF I've been sent, and just kind of talk you through some of the elements that I encountered during my time with this game. Well, I've just played Alba. You'll have to take my word for it because you've not seen me actually do it. It was a really fun and different way to do an adventure book. One thing I found with these kind of adventure books is they can be over before they began. A game I played previously was a game called Captive, which was a graphic novel one by Van Ryder Games, and it was really cool story and really great artwork and things like that, but it was over before it began. Which was a real shame because I took on a holiday with me and thought, oh, this will be, this is going to be like an hour or 2 hours of me looking through this. But yeah, it was over before it began. I felt quite disappointed by that because the story was quite immersive. So let's talk about Alba here. That's very different to that game I just mentioned because the story in itself, I would say, is worth just, if this is just a novel, I'd definitely read it because the story's great. It also has very different endings to this game and different ways you can get to that point. So it's well worth really taking your time with this and reading all in and making some good decisions. The decisions you make in the game do affect the game later on. Like you might say, for instance, you might decide that you're good at lockpicking, and when you come to a chapter later on, it might say, oh, this is locked, but turn to this page because you don't, turn to this page because you can't open it, or turn to this page if you have lockpicking, and then you can go and do that. So that's I guess that's not new to Final Fantasy kind of role-playing board game books like this. It has been done before, but this just feels very different and very fresh. The artwork in it is great, and hopefully I popped some images up of the artwork, and I'll also probably have me reading off some of this so you can hear my lovely voice waffling on. But yeah, it's really fun. It's definitely well worth checking out when they have their Kickstarter up, especially if you want to play kind of more solo games. Something I found a lot during the pandemic that we obviously all going through at the moment is that I've been playing a lot more solo games, and some of the games behind me, they don't have solo options, and sometimes I don't want to sit down and set up a big board game when it's only me playing it. So a book is a really good alternative to that. The same way as a film or a game is a great way to have a bit of escapism in modern life. This particular book is a really good outlet for that kind of creativity and that kind of escapism that you might might want to have there. The character sheet was really good. Like I say, the plot's really cool. And overall, it's just a really interesting read. So I'd highly recommend you check this out on the Kickstarter when it turns up. And yeah, I mean, it's not much more to say. If you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. I've been your host, the ever excitable Adam, and until next time, please stay safe and keep rolling.